Hi, hello there, and it's nice to see you. My name is Selena Rodriguez, and I am currently a junior at U of H main campus. I am majoring in general education, AC through 6, and I am my subjects that I am most interested in would be math and science. Growing up, I actually had a really difficult time with math. I had a lot of tutors that my dad would hire to get me through, but I learned that as much as I hated it, I kind of loved it, especially when I mixed it in with baking. And science, of course, went along with that because of the chemical reactions from the different mixtures of different ingredients and the varying temperatures I would have to input into the oven in order to bake my cakes, flan, cookies, and such. And it was really great. And I plan on using these lessons that I learn in my classroom to interest my future students in science and math classes. Um, my experience with people speaking different languages, well, right now, actually, I work at a restaurant. I work at Subway at the Hobby Airport. So every day I meet people from all around the world. I've met people from, well, English speaking countries, but different dialect or tone, I believe, would be Australia, England, uh, Scotland, Ireland. Those are just a few English speaking countries with the, and of course, the England, of course, and British, the UK. So it's different tones and dialects. I met people who speak English, but in a different way, I suppose. And I've also met people from France, Germany, China, Japan, um, Africa. I'm not sure which part of Africa. And let's see, who else have I met? Oh, and well, for people who don't speak, who are either mute or hard of hearing, I've met with a few people who speak ASL, and ASL is American Sign Language. So I've had a lot of different experiences talking to people who come from different countries all over the world and speak different languages or don't speak different languages and use ASL. And it's a little hard to communicate, but most of the time we just use hand gestures because some of the hand gestures that I would use with people from different countries are we understand like global. It's a global understanding, like for different signs, like for like cow or like the chicken dance, like for chicken. Uh, and I would either use like those kinds of sign for meat, or I would just grab a stick and just point to the board. It's easier to understand that way, like yes, or that's what they want, or no, and it was easy to do it like that. Or sometimes we would use Google Translate, and that doesn't always work as well, but we kind of get the message of what's going on, or we just use the yes or no signals. Um, let's see. Um, for a second language, I don't speak Spanish. Spanish is my mother's and my father's native tongue, but I do not speak Spanish because I was not taught at an early age to speak Spanish. I was only taught English, and I didn't really get enough time with my family to learn Spanish, even though I took it in school for many years. In all honesty, the second language I learned I voluntarily chose to learn was German, which was for some reason, was much easier for me to understand reading, writing, speaking rather than Spanish. German, easy A. Spanish, not so easy. But I don't want that to discourage any of you because Spanish is a very beautiful language as well as German, but it just depends. What you know, you know. What you don't, you try really hard to. Um, I really hope to be more bilingual in the future. I'm trying to better my Spanish, especially when I'm at work because I have so many Spanish speakers who come through the lunch line and it's very hard for me to translate. So I've been working with coworkers to do simple phrases so I could better communicate with just Spanish speakers. And so far, I've been okay at it. What I find really challenging though is, well, when Spanish speakers come through the line and they expect me to speak Spanish, that's really hard because I don't really know that much Spanish, even though it is my native tongue. But I was born in the U.S. and I wasn't taught Spanish by my family. Another hard thing was sometimes I would get people who would expect me to speak a language and they thought that was my language because they misidentified my nationality or from where I come from. For example, I am Hispanic, but I've had people most of the time try to talk to me in a Native American language like Cherokee, or and they try to talk to me in a Hawaiian. I don't know how to speak. I don't know exactly what the Hawaiian language is called, but they try to communicate with me like that. Most of the time, though, it's Mandarin or Japanese. For some reason, people assume that I am Asian, even though I really don't see it. Most of my coworkers say it's my eyes, which I still don't see it, but so it's very hard when you can't communicate with people whose native tongue is or native tongue and you should know, which as your parents should have taught you at birth. It's even harder when people assume that you're a nationality that you know for sure you're not at all, and you don't want to insult the guest with by saying that they're completely and totally wrong. But I'm getting better at it. I'm trying to communicate in different languages to say, oh, I'm Hispanic, I'm not Hawaiian, I'm not Filipino, but thank you. I'll take that as a compliment, and I hope you have a lovely day. Okay, see, it's going a little longer. Sorry. It was nice speaking to you, and I hope to see some more of your videos, my classmates. Thank you. Goodbye.